Welcome to Seek Reality. I'm Roberta Grimes, and I'm so happy you're with us today. Our guest today is someone you and I might call a very sincere seeker. Ray Catania is an author, he's a metaphysical teacher, a theorist, a life coach. He's the visionary behind limitless publications, limitless coaching, and scientific spirituality for the modern human. He's written two books so far, but he's working on a third in what he calls his Awakening series. The first is The Atheist and The Afterlife, and I love this title. The second book is You Are Still Alive, Now Act Like It, because I feel like telling that to a lot of people I know every day. Ray says he thinks he has insights that make him a sought after practitioner, but I think his big secret is he's just very psychic. His publicist calls him a sought after practitioner in scientific spiritualism and in the practical applications of metaphysics. And he has a thriving private practice where he guides people on their transformative journeys. He's also, like so many others, he's had a near-death experience and he's had a few other brushes, which we were talking with just before we started doing this interview. He'll tell us about them. He's an ordained minister with certifications in life, coaching in Reiki, in meditation, and he's now pursuing his doctorate degree in metaphysical parapsychology. And one of the things I want to know more about from him is just why he does all this stuff. But he'll tell us more about that today, too. Ray Catania combines his extensive formal education with other leaders in his field, including intuitives, mediums, shamans, and energy healers. And he's just kind of a very interesting guy. This is his fourth excursion with us. Welcome, Ray. I'm so glad to have you back with us again.
Oh, Roberta, thank you. It's always a pleasure to be here. I'm honored. It's a privilege. Thank you so much. It's great to see you again.
Oh, I saw your face and I said, "Oh, goody, this is going to be fun." Will you please tell our listeners what moved you to begin on this journey of doing all this learning, all this personal growth and teaching?
It started with my own journey of spirituality, and like you said earlier, the first book is The Atheist and The Afterlife, and that is me. I was the atheist who had an NDE and visited the afterlife, and that changed my perception of just about everything, to say the least. And it was, but I didn't accept that right away as being my truth. The NDE, I was only 20 years old. I didn't want to, first of all, there was really we didn't have computers. I'm going to give away my age here. There was no place for me to just type into an internet search and look for what just happened to me. So I kind of just boxed it up and I put it away so I wouldn't have to deal with it because I couldn't explain it. I had no one to go to. The friends and family that I did go to told me I was crazy.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, so as a young person, I really just couldn't put it together. So I had to put it away. That's what I did. I don't want to say all young people do that, but that's what I did. And it was many, many years later, when I met my second wife, these things that were always happening to me, like you mentioned earlier, I do have certain abilities and they began to grow over time. But when I met my second wife is when they really kind of came about in another way that was just so, um, uh, so overwhelming. That's the word I'm looking for. It was the first time I had seen energy in a human form, what appeared to be a human. I didn't see this with my eyes. I saw this in my third eye. It's like a movie screen that opened up, and there was this man on the screen, and he's talking to me. And I never saw anything like that. Now, I had just started dating my second wife. We weren't married. We were just at the beginning of our relationship, and she is a doctor of psychology, which is fantastic because I'm about to tell a doctor of psychology I see things that aren't there. How's the salmon? It's not going to go over well. But I thought I was losing my mind. That's what I chalked it up to. I didn't know anything about mediumship. I didn't know anything about anything psychic, nothing at all. I was still trying to cling to that atheist belief. And it wasn't working anymore because this man in particular wasn't having it, because he's like, listen, I'm going to get my point across whether you want to hear it or not. And he just around the clock just kept coming and saying the same thing over and over and over. And it was a
Ooh,
3-day period. At the end, I was ready to just check myself in to, a hospital and say, take me away. I think I'm mentally ill. There's something wrong with me. And now I have to tell the woman I love, that I just fell in love with, that, she needs to move on and find a normal guy. You don't want to be with me. I see things.
that's
Um,
very altruistic of you.
right. Well, it's a thing to do, I thought. And I didn't get the response I thought, though. I mean, boy, did I get a different response. When I told her what I saw, how I saw it, the guy was husky, black hair, the mustache, and he looked like this, and he said this. She said, oh my God, that sounds like my dad. And I said, babe, your dad died. You told me like 10 years ago. Now I'm thinking she's nuts and I need to get the heck out of there, right? Because she thinks I see dead people. But what is this about? And
Yeah.
and she goes, no, 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 relax. You might be a medium and you just never knew it. And I was like, what is a medium? Like as if my life and the NDE and everything else that's transpired wasn't enough. What is a medium? She goes on to explain it to me. And she takes me to see a medium. And that was her suggestion, as opposed to going to the hospital. Now, this is from a doctor of psychology. So I thought that was pretty open minded of her. And I think that really resonates and told me that this is your soulmate. You need to keep her forever. And we're still married, and we did get married. But the thing is that when I met with that medium, that changed the direction of my entire life, because she validated everything that happened to me, and we went all the way back into my childhood and discussed everything I ever saw and everything that ever happened. And here's the first person, and I think I was about 40. I want to say I'm in my late 40s, maybe at this time, 46, 47. I'm not sure, but it took that long for me to find one individual to understand me, who didn't say I was crazy. Because for
That's
all those years,
refreshing.
everybody would just say, you're crazy, Ray.
Uh,
Don't tell anybody that. They're going to lock you up. And that changed the trajectory of my life. And I felt
oh,
that I
wow.
had to share. First, I had to acquire the education, and that I went back to college for metaphysics, like you said, still working on the doctorate. Just got my dissertation sent back to me for the third time. Wonderful. Um, but and then I started studying with other mentors and shaman, and I traveled around the world. I worked with different people. I learned everything I could learn, and at one day things just kind of opened up, and I had several awakenings. I think people have many awakenings on the
Yes.
way to, or in
What an
one lifetime.
exciting life you're living. Wow.
Crazy, crazy. That's, the word, the only word that I can really describe it. It was crazy. So after learning that, I felt like I had to share that. And I walked away from my job, just literally walked. I had a great job, walked away, high salary, benefits. I was the boss. It was just phenomenal. And I just said, I can't do it anymore. I have to do this. I have to share this with people. I found something out that's really big and everybody needs to know about it.
Bless you
And
for that. That's great.
yeah, that's what got me here.
So what would you call what you do now? You're an advisor. You're
Coach.
helping people with what kinds of problems?
So, I get people who are, one of the things that I've really dove into significantly is manifestation, because my mentor taught me a way to manifest and create. And I'll be honest with you, when he first taught it to me, I wasn't buying into it 100%. But I was still kind of on the fence. It was very, very early days, and I love this man beyond any comprehension. But he always said, take the things you like, and throw the things you don't like away. And this was a little woo woo for me. Like I just couldn't really comprehend it.
Yeah.
But I did it. I had a need for money and it was desperate and it was for my kid. And that made a big difference that it was for my kid because it changed the level of the seriousness, which changed the momentum and changed the vibration that I was putting out. So I got $10,000 in one day. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to go to college because he was scheduled to go away to college. He was going to live on campus. And the college said, he can't come until you come up with another 10 grand. And I was like, well, this better work. I'm going to find out if this works. And it was a twice a day meditation. I did it 6 times. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. At least I think nothing happened. I had gotten the mail that day and I put it aside and I'm looking at the mail and it's all bills. And I'm like, am I doing this wrong? This is a pile of bills, guys. I don't know if I'm doing this right.
Oh
And
dear.
the second day I do it again and I did it 6 times. At the end of the day, nothing. I decided to open up the mail, and one of the letters in there was a bill for my tax, my CPA. I had just done my taxes, and I always pay. There's never a time when I've not paid. And I opened it up, and it said something to you. If I'm paraphrasing, dear Ray, you have overpaid the U.S. government 8,200 and something dollars and something cents. And I must have
Wow.
read it like 14 times. I overpaid. That's a refund of 82 and change. And and wait, it gets better. The next letter said you have overpaid the state of New Jersey 1,200 and something dollars.
It all adds up.
A smidgen over 10. And I was like, I will never doubt you again. Never. Um,
Wow.
and I started to teach this. I put this into my coaching practice, and I worked one on one with many people, and I taught it to groups, and I taught it online, and I started to get the feedback from other people, and some would be very successful with it, others would be so, and this is in the early days. So I started to think, what is the difference maker between actually the acquisition coming to fruition and not coming to fruition. And what it was emotional, the emotion that you have to put behind the vibration. It was all about the emotion.
Yes.
So I developed something called Say It Three Ways. And the Say It Three Ways method is a way of stating your affirmation in 3 ways, not just about the past tense, which is what everyone tells you to do. That's the third way, and that's fine. We don't omit that by any means. That has a lot of value. But if I say, I am wealthy, I am wealthy, I am wealthy, I am wealthy, and I know I'm not wealthy, back of my mind, I'm not going to convince myself. I'm not going to change. I'm not putting out the wealth because I don't believe it. You see, an
Yeah.
affirmation has to have conceivability, believability to be achievable. That's that's a fact. Those 3 things, those ingredients have to be there. So how do we get those ingredients? How do we get believability, which is the biggest one? We build up to it. We say it 3 ways. I want to be wealthy. First one, I will be wealthy. Second one, I am wealthy. Third one, all of a sudden, one of those 3 is always going to be factual. You want, you will, you are. So when you do it that way and you say it 3 ways, it builds momentum. It builds an emotion inside of you. One of those 3 is believable. As you move from 1 to number 2, 2 is now believable. 3 is past, 1 is past tense. You move into the I am. You now have received it. That becomes your past tense. And this worked for everybody across the board that I taught it to. And I don't want, not ever, 87%, to be honest. 87%. I literally did the math.
That's
I'm
not
a,
bad.
I'm a math guy.
So,
I thought it was pretty good. Yeah,
yeah.
87. So yeah, I've been working on putting a course specifically about this together and refining it and getting it out there as quickly as possible.
Wow. Look at you. That's amazing.
I'm excited. I get excited when I talk about it because I want everybody to do this. I just can't wait to see what happens.
What do you call it? You call it manifestation.
Manifestation and creation. Yeah. I mean, we're co-creators of the universe. We're part of the collective consciousness. And I believe that is the collective is, where you'll find God. That is the entity that is God. Jesus even told us, you're a part of God and God's a part of you, right? Well,
Yes,
this is what he was referring to. You can co-create. You're one and the same. You're God. I'm God. Everybody's God. Sam's God. We're all a little piece of God. And that's what makes us, when we say we're all one, there it is. We're all
yes,
one. But
yes.
when you tap into that and you say with emotion, and I mean real emotion, what you need, what you will have, what you have, and you do it that way, it comes back to you that way.
What we have learned is that the only thing that is objectively real is consciousness,
Yeah.
nothing else. But we have
Agreed.
also learned is that what affects consciousness the is emotion,
Yeah.
nothing else.
You got it.
Love is the highest vibration of consciousness. Hatred, anger, fear, lowest vibrations of consciousness. So the higher we can go on
Mm,
that consciousness scale, love, joy, those highest vibrations, the more
mm-hmm.
likely we are to be able to affect it.
Yeah.
So if you can get your people dancing around the room as as they're saying their affirmations, even better.
Yeah. Yeah. What happened, what people that are always experiencing things in the negative, they're always thinking things in the negative, like, oh, that's going to happen to me again if I do that, right? You say that with emotion, don't you? Like, not, I don't mean you literally, but
Yeah,
those that say that,
those who do.
there's emotion there. There's aggravation. It's coming out. So if you put out the negative emotion, you're getting that negative emotion back.
Yeah,
You put out the
that's
positive,
going to
you
be
get that.
bad. Yeah.
And then when it comes to the positive, we don't like say it. We don't say, I love everything. I am in love with the world. I love myself. We just don't say things like that. But you should. You don't have to say it out loud.
Absolutely.
You could
All the
say it in here
time.
if you want. It still works. It's all the same.
Yeah, the higher the vibration, the more likely all of that is going to work.
Yeah.
Right. That's so great.
It's
That's
so simple.
wonderful.
It's not even like, it just, it seems like it just made perfect sense. It was the difference because for me, my kids were my why. That's my why for doing anything, right? Like they
Right.
are my reason for getting up in the morning and doing anything at all. So when it comes to them, I'm going to put emotion behind it. Believe you me, right?
Yes.
And that
And the
was the difference
emotion
maker.
is love. The
Yeah,
emotion is
it
joy.
was
Yeah.
love. That's right. That's
Oh, how
absolutely right.
beautiful. Now tell me about your injury.
Oh,
What did you do?
um, all right. So I've been on a sabbatical, we'll call it. I've been away for about 3 4 months. I don't know. I lost track now. So it started 18 months ago, and when I was 55, I had a goal of getting myself in a certain physique for certain. I was like, I don't care about the number. I'm going to get myself in shape, and this is what I'm going to do. And I actually accomplished my goal. I did. I got myself to where I wanted to be. um, at 56, I'm maintaining that, or at least I'm trying to. And I've always had this irritating neck pain, which dated back all the way to the car accident I had in my younger years, which I should have died, and somehow got out of there alive. I have no idea how, but I did. And I had an injury that over time deteriorated. So I'm experiencing some pain, but I just think like, well, I should just work harder. I can work through this, right? And I started noticing like the tingling down my arm and all this other stuff. And I'm like, well, I got to get more blood into my arm, so I better go to the gym and work out harder. And so
Harder
I
and harder.
harder and harder, right? And then I heard a pop and a crack, and it was like fire. It was just like a burning sensation. It was actually not that much pain. It was burning at the moment. And I was like, I don't think that's what I was looking for.
No.
That didn't sound really good. Maybe I'll take a break. And I went home, and the next day it was on. I mean, the pain was on another level. So, long story short, went to the doctor, found out that I had fractured a vertebrae. I had bone spurs, I guess, that were hitting one another. I had four herniated discs. Two of them were non-existent. They weren't even there anymore. I don't know what you call that.
The
But
cartilage, you mean, that's in between the
yeah,
discs? Yeah.
right. Yeah, yeah. That was gone in two of the vertebrae. So it was bone on bone. And then the next two, it was herniated. So that means that the cartilage is broken and it's kind of hanging out one side.
Oh my
And then
goodness.
it was pressing against my spinal cord
All in your neck.
in my neck.
Yeah.
And it was exactly in the spots of my right arm. So I became paralyzed in my right arm.
Oh my
And
goodness.
it was partial. I could use my hand, but I couldn't use my bicep, couldn't use my shoulder. And it was that was about 18 months ago. So um, they and I went through a lot of struggle with the insurance companies, as a lot of people do now. I could not believe they were denying. It was so bad. Um, so I paid for my own MRI. And here's the thing, guys. If your insurance company keeps denying your MRI, there's places you can go and pay cash. And it's they know, I don't, they accept a very small amount of money, a couple $100. I don't, there's two places by me that'll do that for you. So
Wow.
I found one and I did it. Yeah. And I submitted it myself. And once you see the broken neck, you can't deny I have a broken neck anymore. They didn't want to do the MRI because that's proof that there's an injury and that would need the surgery. Right. So I paid for it myself and I submitted it. And then it was on. So it was an 8 hour surgery, I believe, two surgeons. It was pretty big deal according to everybody. You know, I've had so many brushes with death and the NDE. I was not afraid of dying. I was afraid of anything in between, honestly. You know, being paralyzed or something like that
Oh,
was worrying
sure.
me more so than dying, because I've been there. That's actually kind of nice. You know, oh, it's okay. I got to go. I'll go. So we did the surgery was a success as far as my neck goes, but I had complications. I came home with MRSA, which is a very serious, life-threatening staph infection.
Of course.
So I had to go back to the hospital and had to get treatment for that, and that was another 2 months of not knowing if I was going to make it again. And again, I was like, well, if I gotta go, let's just do this. Let's just, let's move on. But that, of course, didn't happen. I came out of it, and now I'm working on getting my right arm back. I have physical therapy, and it's one of the most painful things. If you haven't used your arm in a year or more, it takes a year to teach it how to work. Like, I can't. It's my right arm too,
Yeah,
so
too. Yeah.
feeding myself, I have to use my left hand. Shaving, I have to use my left hand, and I'm trying to learn how to use the right hand all over again. And it's there's a learning process here, right? Because a lot of things had gone my way, and there was a lot of success, and maybe I rested a little bit at my laurels, and the universe is like, wait a minute, I don't know who you think you are right now, but we're going to put you right back in your place. You got a
Oh,
little more learning to do. Don't be thinking that you're over just because you hit a certain number on the age scale. And I was like, okay, you guys, you
oh,
definitely.
56, you have hardly grown up, my dear.
I knew you were going to say something like that. Um, yeah,
You have many,
well,
many, many more moons
I
ahead.
re- I really thought that I had so many traumas, as you know. I mean, from being shot at, nearly blown up, the car accidents, the being almost
You
beaten to
thought you'd
death.
had your due,
I
but
thought I did. Yeah, I
no.
thought I did my time. I really did.
Right.
I thought it was over, and now whack, I got this.
Oh, dear.
And even my doctor, who I've had like for so many years, he's like, "Man, you just I don't know how you do this." And I was like, "I don't think it's me. I really don't. But we have to go through these traumas to evolve.
You come here, it's Earth School. You have to graduate. Until you
Art
do,
school.
you
Yeah.
got to go through the classes. Yep.
Yeah. Welcome to art school, baby. Here's your next lesson.
Well, but they fixed it. I'm very happy about that.
You
That's
and me both. Yes.
that's good. And you'll be able to, draw whatever what you draw may look like Picasso, but still they paid him a lot. So that's good.
I can type, which is great. I can
Yeah,
do a
that's
lot
all
of
you need to
things.
do. Right.
And
Right.
yeah. And my physical therapist, they push me, and I tell them, I'm like, don't go easy on me because you see a number that says 57. I want you to really push me.
Oh,
And
hey.
and then I started teaching them. I was like, well, you can actually visualize your what is it called? The nerve endings growing, and they will grow. Anything that has stem cells, you can visualize it and you can make it happen. Like Joe Dispenza put his back together. Yeah. So this is possible. And I started explaining this to my physical therapist, and they're like, "Who are you?" And I was like, "Oh, you never read my book? Here." And they're like, "Oh, okay." So then now they really come at me. They're like, "Okay, tough guy, I got your number. All right, you're gonna do another 10 more." And I was like, "All right, that's fine. I'm good with that." Because I'm here to suffer. This is what I'm here to do. There's a learning thing that's going to come out of this. And I'm okay with doing the work in order to get that message so that I can give it to others.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I'd love to find out new things and put them together with the things I already know. So I've got wonderful whole new concepts and ideas. And yeah,
Isn't it
every
great?
day is a brand new day of learning. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. To be
Yeah.
alive is a wonderful thing.
As frustrated as I got, I just kept keeping the momentum going, my own momentum, my own, wanting to continue through the suffering was at the end of it, one of two things was going to happen. I was going to be dead, which is okay because I'll go into the light. That's fine.
Right.
Number two is I'm going to have another book to write there,
Right.
and
Yeah.
here we go. Right. So either way, it's going to be a good thing. There is no,
That's
there's
the
no
thing
bad
about
things.
knowing about what happens after death. What's the worst that could happen? You're gonna die. I mean,
I'm going to go to that euphoric place that I went to when I was 20 years old. I couldn't even replace that feeling. No, and I tried to do a lot of drugs. I could never get back to the euphoria of that. That was amazing. That white
Oh,
light. My God, it's calling it a light is it's not a light. It's you become it. You become one with that.
it's
Ah, God, we
it's
could go
such
off on a tangent.
right.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Right. There's no the good news is that there's never any bad news. That's the
No,
best part of living.
no, there really isn't. There's
So,
just more
so
difficult times, less difficult times, but there's no bad.
there's
There's no
never any bad news ever. And that's the beauty of living. It's all so wonderful.
I mean, there are tragedies, things that happen to people. They lose loved ones and things like that are extremely tragic, and it takes so long to work through them. And some of them you can't work through because it's family and things of that nature. Um, but
Bad things can happen to people you love.
right,
That's the worst thing.
that too. Yeah,
And that's the worst thing. But then if they die, that's not the worst thing because you know they're safe and happy now
yeah.
and that you will see them again.
We know that, but unfortunately, a lot of people don't know that, and it's that unknown that scares them.
Yeah.
And
Well, yeah.
and of course there's the disconnect that they don't have. And a lot of people, if I'm teaching or if I'm working with someone who's grieving, I address that. I show them that there are signs that they are trying to get in touch with you. It is possible. You don't have to be a medium to get in touch with your own loved ones. And I think we talked about this one time on one
Mhm,
of our
mhm.
shows together, right? You had a lot of experiences like that.
Yeah. And I always tell people that if they feel that they've lost their loved one, the first thing they need to understand is they absolutely will see them again. And meanwhile, someone is being is very is taking care of the person that they love, and that they're always being held in those everlasting arms, and they're always the person they love is always safe. Those
Mm.
are the things that they worry about. Those are the things they never have to worry about.
Yeah.
And once people feel sure and feel certain about that, and it helps a lot if you can get a good medium,
Yeah.
which you are, so you can help them to be in contact again with their loved ones.
I, you
What,
know, I studied mediumship for a few years, but then I decided going into that professionally wasn't something I could do because of the emotions that I had to carry
yeah,
from both the deceased and the living, and so I stopped practicing
yeah,
and
I think
decided
that
that
would be terrible. I would worry about myself doing that too. I think
it's hard work, and I really commend those that
it's the
do it.
strongest constitution that I ever would have. But
Yeah.
fortunately, I don't have the gift, so I don't have to worry about that. But just helping people to know that their loved ones are safe
Hmm.
and happy, and
Yeah.
if there's a way, if there's a medium that you can refer them to so that they can have that experience just once. They
Yep.
can't get addicted to it. They just have to know just once that their loved one is safe and happy. And then we just do the best we can with this life,
Hmm.
knowing that they're going to be together again.
Yeah. And we can also help them find the signs that they will receive from the other side. And there's a lot of times, with the, for example, my aunt had passed away and we were very close. Like she was like a second mother, right? So when
Mhm.
she passed, it was kind of devastating to me. It was devastating. And, but again, I knew she was okay and I knew where she was and I knew everything was fine. And I remember, I think it might have been the repast where we were sitting around the table and her two daughters were telling stories about a funny story about their mom, who's my aunt, and dimes. And I didn't really catch the whole story, but I did catch the dime thing, right? That stuck with me in my head. And so I remembered that. And as the next several days started to unfold and I was going through my grieving process, um, the dime would pop up everywhere. I mean, it would be on the floor, it would be on the television, it might be on a table. I would be in a bathroom, not my bathroom, but like a public one. And there's another
Yeah,
dime,
right.
and they're everywhere. One morning, I woke up, and there was one under me, and there was just no way. How does that get there? I don't sleep with my pants on. Okay, so
Yeah,
how did that get there? And I showed my wife, and my wife said, "Oh, I got a whole jar of dimes. They just came out of nowhere. I've been picking them up around the house. We don't even use we barely use cash, let alone dimes. You know what I mean? So
right, right,
there's
right,
no
right.
mistaking what that is, and you can help people find um, their thing that they can um,
There's a particular way that
connect
your
with.
loved one is communicating with you.
Yes,
You can kind of find it.
you got to find it. Right.
So, sometimes people will say, well, I'll only believe it if he shows me daisies or something, and it'll be winter. I'll say, well, he may have trouble finding daisies to show you in the middle of the winter, but very often they'll come up with ways, you know.
Right. That's right. It'll come
And
up in your feed, right?
yeah,
It'll come up on Facebook, a big pile of daisies, and you're like, oh my God, where did that come from? It
yeah,
doesn't have to be an actual daisy.
yeah, it
You
could
know,
be
you
pictures somewhere,
you
and
could be driving and there's a
they'll do the
billboard of
best they can.
daisies.
Yeah, they'll do the best they can to give you what you want.
They will. They certainly will. I've had that happen so many times. Keep an open mind. You ask for daisies, let them bring them to you. It may not be the way you think, but you will get them.
So, what have you learned about yourself in doing this work?
Oh boy. Um, a lot, a lot, really. I learned that I'm not my ego, and that was a big deal for me. That little voice in my head that would always talk to me and chitter chatter my whole life, and it would tell me things that I wasn't good enough for this, or I couldn't do that, or that's only for rich people. My parents used to say. And that's not me, not at all. That's a construct of everyone else. I'm the only person that's not a part of my own ego. And I'm talking about the Freudian Jung ego, not egotistical. That's not what we're saying. It's the psychological ego, which is this
Right.
self image. And, you know, and the ego will always try to protect you. And in trying to protect you, it may mean well, but it will stifle you from doing anything because it will make you believe that you can't accomplish it or you can't do it. And when I started cracking away at my ego, and it was a long process, but then finally I really busted through. And there's a funny story, and this is not the busting through story, but this is just happens to be a real funny one because I was very young. I was in single digits, maybe 6, 7 years old, something like that, and I'm in my home, and I was playing with trucks underneath the kitchen table, and the adults were sitting at the kitchen table, and they were all talking, and it was a little get together, and they were talking about fears and phobias. And when it got to my mom said, "I am deathly afraid of heights. I am deathly afraid of heights." Just like that. I can raise my arm, by the way. Look at that. So I couldn't do that a while.
Oh,
Now I
oh,
can.
that's awful.
Um, so I didn't like hear that. I internalized it. My subconscious took that in. And my whole life, I would say, I'm deathly afraid of heights. Oh, I'm deathly afraid of heights. Even say it exactly the way she said it, right? Um, Fast forward 40 something years later, I'm in Peru and I was studying with the shaman, and I had to go to the top of Machu Picchu to get my healing rites with the
Oh,
elders of the tribe. I was so excited. I went right up that mountain and we did the ceremony. I came right down the mountain and we went back to the hotel, and I said, "Babe," I was with my wife, um, "I'm not afraid of heights. My mother is." 40 something years it took me to realize I'm not afraid of heights. That
yeah,
was never mine. I carried somebody else's crap and believed that it was mine because
right,
the ego said, if that it's not good for your mother, it's definitely not good for you, dummy. Right? That's the way that interpretation works.
of course,
And before the age of 10, we just absorb it all. We take it all in as fact. We don't, there's no conscious to say, maybe you don't have that. You don't have that ability yet. So you're just absorbing and you're taking it all in.
right.
And, that's just a small example of one of the major things that I lost.
Well, it's big and it's important.
Yeah.
You're basically shedding whole layers of stuff
Yeah.
that is part of this burden of ego
Yeah.
that we arrive at our young adulthood with is part of this growth that we are trying to make in this lifetime.
Yeah.
And the more we shed all of that, the freer we become and the lighter we become
Yeah.
and the more glorious that feels.
Yeah.
I didn't realize even what it was I was feeling sort of initially and why it felt so good.
Mhm.
But it does. It's
When
just
I
overwhelming.
when I just tell clients, you are not your ego,
Yes,
the relief is like, wow, I never looked at it that way. It's impossible for you to be your own ego because it's what you took in your environment. It's what everyone else said. It's the things you saw on TV that you didn't know were real or fake. It's everything you took in.
it
So
is.
it can't be you. You came in as a blank slate when you were born. You were blank. You were wiped. Most people. I mean, I know there's a few that can remember past lives, but for the most part, you're a clean slate and
But
you
no,
take all this
most
in.
people don't have anything from their past lives.
Right.
They
Right.
do come in free of that.
Right.
We take in all kinds of things and we create all kind. I mean, where it comes from, I'm not even sure. But it's ideas that we just accumulate.
I can recall little things like walking down a street and just overhearing two adults having a very serious conversation. And it was something I should never have overheard, but I did. And I internalized that because I was so young. It's one of those conversations that mom said, let's walk this way, because it just wasn't meant for a child to hear. But I already heard it. It's too late. So I don't know who's right and who's wrong in that conversation. I don't know the specifics. I just know what I heard. And to me, that's real. Even though one person could be saying completely, things that are just completely ridiculous. But
Yeah.
that's not the way it's interpreted. So we make decisions later in life that we ultimately made at the age of 10. Can you imagine that? We still
Then,
base our
then we
decision.
add things to I don't even know where. I mean, it could come from things we've read. It could come from bad dreams. It could come from all kinds of things.
Yeah.
But spiritually, there's still this freedom, which as we grow spiritually, as we allow ourselves to grow, we shed so much
Mm,
and more, and we become freer and freer. And it's glorious. I
yeah.
mean, I want everyone listening to just realize that the more you allow yourself to free yourself from all of that, it just feels so good to be free
It
of
takes
all of it. None of
some,
it is you. That's the thing.
right. It's not
And
you.
it isn't you.
No,
And what's beyond it, once you get free of it, is God. And you are touching the hem of, and then finally hugging the heart of God.
that's where we should get our information from, our awareness, which is connected to our higher selves, connected to the universal collective. If you take your answers from there, if you ask the question and get the answer from there, instead of going into that data bank of your subconscious mind, which can only have what? The past in it. That's all it could have. It's like a hard drive of a computer. There can't be anything unknown because you experienced it and there it is. It's in storage. So your ego pulls out from your subconscious and says, "This is what you should do." Well, my ego's living in the past, but my awareness doesn't. My awareness is looking to my best interest in the future. So pause and think about, where did that information come from? Did it come from my awareness or did it come from my ego? When you start to make that separation and you start to focus on this one instead of this one, it's so freeing. Like you're saying, it's another world opens up for you.
You can go into, and you don't have to call God God. You can call God, many people call God the
The
universe. To
universe.
me, that's
Sure.
limiting,
Yep.
but you can call God anything you want.
Yes.
But
Yep.
the point is, there's no limit at all to who you are. You are bigger and more amazing and more wonderful than you can possibly imagine. Oh my goodness, we're starting to run over. My
So,
very dear Ray, what do you want people to take away from our conversation today?
I think we hit it right on the head. The ego isn't you. When you hear that ego, when you hear that chitter chatter, and you don't have to believe everything that you think. You really don't,
You don't
because
have to believe everything you think. That's so
no, you
true.
don't. No, you don't, because it may be coming from that ego, which has an askewed view of the world. Try to get it from your awareness, and your life will change really, really quickly.
Yes, yes. I am not my ego. I am free
Mm.
because I am as I always have been. I am eternal. I am a powerful, eternal being. It is impossible to put any limits on who you are, my dear ones.
Mm.
You are infinite, perfect, and beautiful. No, that's
I,
so true. Oh my goodness. Wow,
Feels good, right?
I could talk with you forever, my dear.
Oh, thank you. Me too. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Ray has three websites, which we will put in the
Oh,
do
it's all
you still have three?
no, no. It's just raycatania.com. That's the only one. That's the primary one. And you'll find information about the books and coaching and upcoming courses and things that are coming
Just
out.
raycatania.com, and we
Yep.
shouldn't talk about the other ones anymore. Okay,
Nope.
good.
Those are fine. Thank you, though. Thank you for letting me say that.
Okay, good. And I just think that what you're doing is wonderful because it is so ennobling. I mean, to teach people how to manifest their own unlimited selves is the most glorious thing you can possibly do for people.
Oh, yeah.
Because once you have that gift, and I'm saying this to everyone now, once you have that gift, how you can do your own manifesting of your own highest and best self, you can make your life unlimited. How powerful that is. Wow, good for you. Well, you stay right there. I'm going to tell everyone who our guest will be next week, and then I'll be back. Oh, once again, my wonderful friends, we've come to the end of our time together. This has been Seek Reality with Roberta Grimes. Oh, I'm so happy you were with us today. This is very, very powerful. Please never forget that you are a powerful, eternal being. You never began and you never, ever will end. And when you get what that means and all its implications, it changes everything, everything in this life for the better. And next week, Brandy Gilmore, she's been someone people have talked to me about. She's going to be with us for the fifth time, and Brandy's is an amazing story. She was written off by the whole medical community, never could heal her. And so she healed herself. Her book tells you how she did it, and I think it's a must read. If you've got health issues and they've written you off in the medical community, read her book. It's called Master Your Mind and Energy to Heal Your Body. Wow. This is precisely what Brandy did, and now she teaches it to everyone. Traditional medicine fails you? You can do it yourself. And if you have any health problems at all, then please trust me on this. You've got to be here next week because Brandy Gilmore will be our guest. This week, of course, our guest has been Ray Catania. He's been with us for the fourth time, and as you see, Ray is another force of nature kind of guy. He's an author, a metaphysical teacher, a theorist, and a life coach. He's the visionary behind limitless publications, limitless coaching, and scientific spirituality for the modern human. His two books are wonderful. They're called The Atheist and The Afterlife, which is what he was in the beginning because he had had a near-death experience, and it taught him that there's a lot more going on than people who are atheists could ever imagine. And I love this title. You are still alive, now act like it. That was his second book. Like so many people nowadays, that near-death experience he had was transformative for him, and he is still learning and growing and teaching it. He's an ordained minister, a master certifications. He has a master certification in life coaching, Reiki, and meditation, and he's still going to school. As you've seen and heard, Ray is also quite entertaining, and he's very spiritual, and he's wonderful to talk to. And we don't have any time left, but as you know, Craig Hogan is someone that you want to know because you are going to live forever, whether you like it or not. So go to seekreality.com, learn from him what your eternal life is going to be all about. And that's all the time we have, my dear ones. So just over the next week until we meet again, just remember. This has been Seek Reality with Roberta Grimes. Enjoy and make the most of this coming week and the one reality we all share, knowing that you are a powerful eternal being and you most of all in this entire universe. You in particular are infinitely, eternally, and perfectly forever loved.